Have you ever thought about how strange it is to buy a drink? To prove you're old enough, you hand over a piece of plastic that also reveals your exact birth date, your home address, your height, and your weight. You're giving away a mountain of personal data just to answer a simple yes or no question. And that vulnerability is magnified online. Every time you make a standard digital transaction, you leave a permanent trail. You're exposing your financial history to a vast network of servers and strangers who process that payment. What if there was a way to definitively prove a statement, like, "I have enough money in my account," without actually showing anyone your balance or your account number? This is the exact problem solved by zero-knowledge proofs, or ZKPs. A zero-knowledge proof is a cryptographic method that lets one person prove to another that a claim is true, while keeping all the underlying data a complete secret. By separating the act of verifying information from the act of seeing it, this technology turns the core architecture of the internet inside out. Instead of relying on a company's promise to keep your data safe, ZKPs provide a mathematical guarantee of privacy. The math behind this technology dates back to 1985. That was the year researchers Shafi Goldwasser, Silvio Macaulay, and Charles Rakoff first detailed what they called an interactive proof system. Their work introduced a fascinating new metric called knowledge complexity. Instead of just asking how long a calculation takes, they asked exactly how much extra information leaks out when a person proves a claim to a verifier. By asking that question, they laid the bedrock for modern digital privacy. They proved through rigorous mathematics that sharing the truth of a statement does not require sharing the data behind it. To understand how this cryptography actually works, computer scientists often use a famous thought experiment known as the Alibaba cave. Picture a ring-shaped cave with a single entrance. That entrance splits into path A on the left and path B on the right. At the very back of the cave, the two paths are connected by a heavy door locked by a secret password. In this scenario, we have two people. Peggy is the prover. She claims she knows the secret password to the door. Victor is the verifier. He wants Peggy to prove she knows the password, but Peggy refuses to say it out loud. So they play a game. Victor stands outside the cave and puts on a blindfold. While he can't see, Peggy walks into the cave and randomly chooses to walk down either path A or path B. Once she's inside, Victor takes off his blindfold. He stands at the entrance and randomly shouts for Peggy to exit the cave using a specific path. For example, he yells, "Come out path B." Now Peggy has to respond. If she originally walked down path B, she can just turn around and walk back out. But if she originally went down path A, the only way she can exit through path B is to use the secret password, unlock the door, and cross over to the other side. When Peggy emerges from the correct path, she gives Victor a single piece of evidence. She successfully completed the task, and she never had to utter a single syllable of the secret password. This simple game perfectly illustrates the three required mathematical properties of a zero-knowledge proof. The first property is completeness. If Peggy genuinely knows the secret password, she will always be able to complete Victor's challenge, no matter which path he calls out. But wait a minute, couldn't Peggy just get lucky? If she doesn't actually know the password, she still has a 50-50 chance of guessing which path Victor will shout, right? That brings us to the second property, soundness. A single round proves nothing, but if Victor and Peggy repeat this exact game 80 times, the probability of Peggy guessing correctly every single time drops to 1 in a septillion. By repeating the challenge, her claim becomes mathematically sound. And that leads to the third and final property, zero knowledge. After those 80 rounds, Victor is statistically certain that Peggy knows the password. Yet, he still has absolutely no idea what the password actually is. When you combine completeness, soundness, and zero knowledge, you create an airtight system. You establish the absolute truth of a statement entirely through the statistics of consistent action, rather than by handing over your private data. As elegant as the cave game is, it has a fatal flaw. Making a server interact back and forth 80 times for a single verification is incredibly slow. And if Victor records a video of Peggy succeeding 80 times to show a judge later, the judge won't believe it. Victor and Peggy could have easily agreed on the sequence of paths ahead of time. To work on a global scale, we need a digital upgrade. Enter the zk-SNARK. zk-SNARK stands for Zero Knowledge, Succinct, Non-Interactive Argument of Knowledge. It uses advanced cryptography to compress that entire interactive back-and-forth dance into a single, instantly verifiable mathematical puzzle. Because zk-SNARKs are succinct, meaning the proof is incredibly small, and non-interactive, meaning they don't require a live conversation, they completely remove the bottleneck of human communication. They make this intense cryptography lightweight enough to run seamlessly on global network infrastructure. This efficiency is exactly why zk-SNARKs are now being deployed across modern blockchains. On a public ledger where computing power is limited and transactions are traditionally visible to anyone, a technology that offers transparent, lightweight privacy is incredibly valuable. It enables what we call shielded transactions. A user can send a payment, and the network can mathematically verify they have sufficient funds to cover it. The transaction is approved and recorded, but the sender's identity, the receiver, and the wallet balance remain completely obscured from public view. For decades, participating in the digital world meant accepting a trade-off. We surrendered our personal information in exchange for access and convenience. Zero-knowledge proofs finally break that old compromise. They offer a digital landscape where we can transact freely, verify our credentials, and still retain absolute ownership of our private lives.